Hi, everybody. I am Trey, one of your average film enjoyers, and I am here to tell you that you can win over $500 worth of movie stuff. So if you're listening to this podcast, you're a huge movie fan. Obviously, you wouldn't be listening if you didn't love film like me and Jagger. And so me and Jagger, along with three other content creators on TikTok, Film Gunch, who we've had on here, Wes, who we've had on here a couple times, and then one of our good friends, Real Takes, we are all joined together doing a giveaway currently. And how you join this giveaway is you go to each of our pages. We all have the giveaway video pinned. And you'll go on to that video. You'll give us all a follow. We each account is tagged in every video. And then comment down below. Tag 5 of your friends. And if you tag 5 different friends in all 5 different videos, then you can get up to 30 entries. 30 entries. You can get up to 30 entries. So, but you're like, Trey, well, you're telling me about this, but I don't even know what I can win. Well, I'll tell you what you can win. Real Takes is donating a 4K Harry Potter collection, Blu-ray James Bond collection, I believe a 4K collection of the Planet of the Apes films, and the first 3 John Wick movies in 4K. I'm donating 3 criterions of your choice, so whoever wins get to choose 3 criterions, and we'll mail those to you. Jagger, my co-host, is donating a bunch of international DVDs. Gunch is donating Don Hertzfeld and I can't remember the other guy's name. Well, the animated show. It's a very limited edition animated sketch comedy show. He has a bunch of steelbooks of all 3 seasons, so he's donating those. And then the biggest one, Wes, is donating a region-free Blu-ray player. So, if any of those items interest you, again, go to any of our TikTok pages. Go to me and Jagger's TikTok page, Trey the Film Noob, Jagger Film Reviews. We have the videos pinned on top of our pages, so go check them out, follow the instructions. The giveaway ends when we are all 5 of us at 1,000 followers. And me and Jagger are the only ones that haven't hit 1,000 followers yet. So please help us get us there so we can give away all this movie merchandise. Now, let's get to the podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to your favorite film podcast, The Average Film Enjoyer. I am Trey, your average film enjoyer, and as you can see today, unfortunately, when we are recording, Jagger is feeling a bit under the weather. I think he's pretty sick today, so subbing in for him, we have 2 gentlemen on here who we've had on a good amount, Allan and Will from the... I'm going to get it. Again. There's too many Real Talk podcasts. You guys aren't Shot for Shot. That's McGuigan. Motherfucker. A Fistful of Films. That's you guys. Go. Yes. Yeah. There's too many movie puns. Yeah, from the Fistful of Films podcast. Who are you guys still doing your Tarantino run through right now?
Yep. Just got done with Death Proof. Bastards next. Right?
Yeah. What'd you guys think of Death Proof? Because that's one that I think is super slept on, and I really enjoy it.
I think it's his weakest, but I guess to say how good of a director he is because it's still 3.5.
Yeah. 3.5 too.
Yeah. I have a blast with it. Kurt Russell is just outstanding.
He's the standout easily.
Yeah, 100%. So, yeah, go check out their podcast, Fistful of Films. They're doing the Tarantino run-through, and it's with Allan and Will, and along with Jordan and Seb, 4 really great dudes. Really great podcast. But, yeah, they're helping me out today. So, this would be one of our IMDb episodes, but unfortunately, the IMDb movie we were supposed to have today, we couldn't find streaming anywhere, even on like what may or may not be legal websites.
Movie.
It was called what's it called? The Best Years of Our Lives.
It's gonna be like my life mission now to find this movie for you guys.
Yeah.
After the pod.
So yeah, today instead of doing that, we're gonna skip that movie. Oh, where's it streaming?
It's on Prime.
Oh well, it's too late now. We're gonna be skipping that film. And today, we may come back to it in a few months, but today, me, Allan, and Will, we will be breaking down the very controversial list, Rolling Stone's 100 greatest movies of all time. So I'm quite excited for this. There are definitely some movies on here that I think belong, and there are definitely some movies on here that I don't think belong.
Definitely.
Just to say first, I haven't seen like any foreign films on here.
This is some I hadn't seen that I saw as well. So
yeah, we're gonna go by 15 increments how they have it broken down on the website. I will put a link to this website in the description of this video if you guys want to follow along with us. But yeah, let's start with 100 to 86. So what we have here at number 100, we have Kill Bill 1. Thoughts on that? I feel like that doesn't belong on the list.
Oh gosh,
really? I think it's 100 worthy.
I think it's 100 worthy too. It's like
I don't know if it'd be in mine, but I'm not mad about it.
I think it'd be in my top 150, but I don't think it'd be in my top 100.
I think I'm
more
more
at 26 on mine.
I'm more upset of what's above it right off the bat.
Yeah, so let's do 99 and 98 together. At number 99, we have Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. And at number 98, we have Baz Luhrmann's Moulin Rouge.
I haven't seen Moulin Rouge.
I haven't seen Moulin Rouge.
It's all right. If you like Baz Luhrmann, it's good, but I'm just not a big fan of him. But Revenge of the Sith. Eesh. Our first one that's like absolutely not, at least for me. What about you guys?
No, not even top like 500. Maybe not top 1,000.
It's what do you guys have that logged at? I don't have it logged.
I don't even want to say.
Me neither. It'd be a 3.5 though.
Will
max 3.5.
I watched this on repeat when I was a kid. I have it pretty high. I don't want to say the score exactly, but I don't think it should even touch the top 100 greatest ever. It's just like nostalgia reasons.
Yeah, like there's stuff on here that I could see being in my top 100 favorites, but not like my greatest. You know,
greatest is crazy.
Yeah,
there's so many flaws in it.
Oh my god, yeah.
Dude, the end is great.
The
whole leading up to it.
Yeah, the whole fight on Mustafar, is that I think that's the name of the planet. It's sick. Is that the one with the sand line where he's like, I hate sand. It's rough, coarse, and gets everywhere.
Is that Attack of the Clones?
Or is that Attack of the Clones?
Attack of the Clones.
Oh god, dude. I wish because Hayden Christensen really isn't that bad of an actor. I just wish he had gotten better writing.
Yeah, we can't really tell because just based off the writing, if he would have been any good, really.
Yeah. All right, so Revenge of the Sith doesn't belong. Moulin Rouge, can't really say. 97 and 96, we have Spider-Man Far From Home and The Fifth Element. Now, I've seen Spider-Man Far From Home. I would say absolutely not. It's a great Spider-Man movie, but it doesn't belong in here.
This is insane.
Yeah.
Spider-Man Far From Home should be anywhere near 100 greatest. It's insane.
I don't think there should be a single MCU movie on here.
Ooh.
Like, personally.
Like,
there's some great ones.
So much.
There's some great ones like,
yeah,
Guardians of the Galaxy, Infinity War, but actually I don't know. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 might be on here for me, but
peak.
I don't know. I love it.
I wouldn't have this anywhere near.
Yeah, me neither. And have you guys seen Fifth Element? That's one that I've yet to get around to.
I haven't.
All right, no comment on Fifth Element.
No comment.
Let's do. I'm looking through here. How I want to. Ooh, okay. So the next two, we got some classics. We got Vertigo, and Life of Brian, Monty Python's Life of Brian. Well, I know, Will, you're a huge Hitchcock fan. I know you've probably seen Vertigo.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, Vertigo's a 4.5 for me. One of the lower 4.5s. I wouldn't say it's in my top 3 Hitchcocks that I've seen for now.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so influential, I can see why it's on the top 100, honestly. But, so it's not like something I'm mad about, but it wouldn't be in mine personally.
Yeah. Allan, what about you?
Haven't seen it.
Okay, yeah. Life of Brian. Have you either of you guys seen that? I might be the only one here who's seen that. Yeah, I had to watch it. Me and Jagger watched it it was like on one of our first IMDB top 250 episodes. I think it's like 246 or something. It definitely doesn't belong on here. That movie's a 3.5. It's fine. It's good. And I know we talked to Seth about this when we had him on, and he was like, but that's a classic. And I'm like, yeah, maybe in the UK, but here it doesn't hold up. Now, the next... Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Dude, all the next
crazy.
Movies, I believe, belong so much higher. Let's just break them down one by one. There Will Be Blood.
At 90-3. I
It's...
can swear on this, right? Sorry.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, it's wild. There Will Be Blood, and then Whiplash at 92 is crazy.
At least you got the placing of each other correct.
Yeah, they got a placing correct.
Yeah.
Whiplash is better than There Will Be Blood.
Definitely is.
Yeah,
Country for Old Men's better than There Will Be Blood, just for all the Real Talk people listening. It's the gospel
we know.
here. I'm preaching.
We'll move down a little bit down the list and we'll see.
I know,
We'll see.
but that's not even There Will Be... Oh, wait, no, that's not Coen Brothers. That's PTA. Never mind. I'm getting ahead of myself. And then...
These are way too low.
Yeah, 100%. And then at 91 and 90, we have The Goonies, which, again, I think is too low. But that just might be for sentimental reasons. I love The Goonies. Oh, it's spectacular.
Somehow I haven't.
It's written by Steven Spielberg as well.
And then... Point, I thought he directed it, so...
Richard Donner directed it, and then he wrote it.
Yeah.
And then Blade Runner 2049 at 90, which I have yet to get around to, but I know you guys are huge fans of. Where would you put this in your top 100?
Probably
favorites
around this area.
Yeah.
90.
To me, it's like
90,
15
80
in my favorites. I adore Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah.
So I think this is a little too low, but I can see why it's higher.
Next, though, we have a top 5 movie
ever. God, dude, we have peak. I mean, our group chat is literally named La La Land Rewatch. La La Land at 89. I mean, for me at least, that is way too low. I'd have that in the top 10 greatest movies of all. I don't think I'd have it as the greatest movie of all time, but I think it's in my top 10 for sure.
Top 5.
Yeah, it's an immaculate film. It is perfect in every sense of the word.
It's awful.
And then above it, we have the absolute classic, The Avengers. What? That's crazy to me. That is absolutely
I love it, but
crazy.
It's not top
no
100.
way. It's better than any of the movies we just listed. That's
Far From Home. And Revenge of the Sith. It's definitely better than Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
That's me like last 5 for sure.
Okay.
Too close. Doesn't even sniff them.
And sorry if you guys can hear stuff in my background for the listeners. My nephew is here visiting. And so at number 87 and 86, 87 we have Peak Cinema, debatably the Coen Brothers' best piece of work. No Country for Old Men. Yes, no, belongs higher, lower. What are we thinking?
Higher.
Too low,
Higher for me.
but at least it's over. Then There Will Be Blood. That's at least I got it.
Yeah, I think it's higher for me. I mean, this is the movie I attribute to getting me into cinema. I think I've talked to you guys about that. This is one of my all-time favorites. It's immaculate. I'm actually due for a rewatch. Maybe I'll watch that tonight. Oh god, that movie's so good. And then we have Dead Poets Society. I think this belongs in top 100. I would probably put it in the 98 to 99 range. I wouldn't have it this low, but I do still have it in there. I really love this. I think it's not Robin Williams' best role, because obviously that's Good Will Hunting, but we'll probably get to that later, hopefully. Yeah. But I do think it's up there with his best roles. What about you guys? Would you have this on there, or would you not?
Haven't seen it.
Oh,
I would probably have it around this range as well.
Yeah,
While it's not personally in my top 100 favorites, I just think it's so good and so influential, so I can definitely get why it's on this list. So it's not something I'm mad about, like Far From Home.
Yeah, Allan, you need to get on that, man. It is outstanding. Next, all right, we're moving on to 85 through 71. So let's see. First two we got are two that I definitely, maybe not the second one. We got Donnie Darko and we got Joker, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. What are you guys' thoughts on Donnie Darko and Joker? Because I'm sure you guys have seen both.
I think Joker belongs on here. I'm not sure Donnie Darko does.
Yeah, that's how I'm feeling too.
That's wild, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm the opposite.
The exact same way.
I'm the opposite. I think Donnie Darko belongs a lot higher, and I don't think Joker belongs on here.
I thought Donnie Darko was good. It just didn't connect with me. Like.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Nice little four.
But I do think Joker's good. I just don't think it belongs on this top 100. As like, I think there's a lot better character studies out there that would belong above this that probably aren't on this list. But that's just me personally. Next, we got Three Godfathers, which I've never seen. I don't
even heard of it. So
it's John Ford. So we're going to skip over that one. Number 82 and 81, we have The Terminator and The Castle, which I've never seen, but Terminator.
Never seen either.
100. You've never seen Terminator?
No.
I would be
shocked. But I haven't seen Terminator 2.
Oh, I've heard that one's the better one. I've yet to see it. But I mean, the first one is immaculate. It's a great science fiction action flick. Super iconic. So I would agree that it belongs in here. Just probably it would be higher up, or like higher up in numbers, like 90 to 95. I would have it
by the fraud. I wouldn't have it in the top 100. I think it's pretty good, really good, better than his other movies.
Yeah.
Avatar, I haven't seen that, or not Avatar. Sorry, Avatar sucks.
Yeah.
It doesn't suck. It's mid, but I don't know if I'd have it above Terminator 2 because I haven't seen it. But good movie.
Yeah. Next, 80 and 79, we have a movie that definitely belongs in here and a movie that definitely doesn't. The Usual Suspects and Rocket Man.
Allan thinks Usual Suspects super overrated. I've never seen it, but
what?
Really
what makes you let's go into this.
3.5.
Why do you think it's overrated?
It's just boring. I'll be honest, like I haven't seen it in years, but I thought it was mad boring. I thought it was obvious. Kevin Spacey, bad guy, he was good in it. But I don't think it belongs in like the top 500 probably.
Yeah, very cancelable crew. You got Kevin Spacey and Bryan Singer. I love it.
Bryan Singer do?
He was like sexually assaulted a bunch of women, which is not great. And then he made Bohemian Rhapsody.
Don't do that at home, kids.
Yeah, don't do that.
Bohemian Rhapsody's a banger.
That's not true. That is just not true. Man? What?
I'm honest, says Rocket Man.
Yeah, I know. Now we have Rocket.
Bryan Singer made that.
Oh. Gotcha.
No, he made Bohemian Rhapsody. Rocket Man. I don't think this belongs in here, but also I have always been a hater of like biopics.
Okay.
So, what do you guys think? Does this belong in here?
I haven't seen it, but I love his music. I think Taron Egerton is one of the best young actors we got. So
yeah,
I agree. Excited to watch it.
Next up, we have The Lion King and The Greatest Showman. I'm gonna let you guys take this one because you guys both seem like you definitely have some thoughts about this.
I mean, The Lion King. I don't know. I honestly don't know where I'd put it in the top 100, but it's like one of the most monumental animated movies ever.
Mm-hmm.
It pretty much like, I wouldn't say created like the revenge story, I think, but it like kind of, put it on the map for animation films and stuff like that. The Greatest Showman, I haven't seen it, but I know that one guy in the Spider-Man hoodie would love this list, or even having it on here.
From the I can never remember their name. No, I know exactly.
Escape.
Yeah, the Escape Pod.
Yeah.
Will, what about
Lion
you?
King. Yeah, I think Lion King. I definitely think it deserves a spot in the top 100 greatest for sure. And as far as Greatest Showman goes, I don't think it's that great of a movie, but the music, I love the music. It bangs, and I play it in my car sometimes. So.
But next up, we got two of the best animated movies ever.
Yeah. We got
and Will loves one of them.
Toy Story and Spirited Away. Toy Story isn't even my highest rated Toy Story. I rather put Toy Story 3 in that spot. Hopefully it's higher up on the list because that movie is immaculate. And I'm starting to figure out outside of because I know in the film community that is held as the best Toy Story movie, but I'm figuring out outside of film Twitter, film talk and everything, it's held as one of the worst ones. And I'm what are you guys talking about? It's immaculate.
Toy Story 3 is goated.
Yeah.
4 is the worst. 2 is a step below the 1 and 3.
Oh, no, my rankings are 3, 2, 1, 4.
That's insane.
Yeah. Will, what about you? Toy Story rankings, just off the top of your head?
1, 3, 2, 4 for me.
That's valid.
I think so. I definitely put it here.
That's valid.
I think 4 is still good, but it's always going to be last. I feel like if you have a brain on your head.
Yeah, because the first 3 are just masterpieces.
Yeah, so Spirited Away, Toy Story, guys, thoughts? Do these belong? Do they not belong? Do they belong higher or lower?
I think both
Spirited Away doesn't deserve to sniff it ever.
Spirited Away is fantastic.
Never seen it.
Miyazaki makes bangers.
He does.
Theaters, last month. It makes you I don't know. You feel like you're watching a Pixar movie when you're a kid. Watching them now as an adult.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Feeling, which is crazy.
Yeah,
it's like magic on screen, bro. It's what it is. It's insane.
And Will, you said you'd never seen it.
He hates anime. He won't watch anime because he's weird.
Oh, one night, we're gonna force you to watch it. We're gonna force you.
You're gonna show up at my house.
I know. I will pay you. I will pay you once I have a job again. I will pay you to watch it because it's outstanding. It's outstanding. It's one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen.
An offer I can't refuse.
Oh, I just saw something horrible at the end of this.
Shit.
I keep going 2 by 2. I don't want to spoil for myself. So
yeah. Okay. Next one is we got Psycho, the most goated slasher, and Rocky Horror Picture Show. I personally haven't seen Rocky Horror Picture Show, but I have seen Psycho, and I think it 100% belongs on here. I think it belongs higher.
Yeah, it does.
Psycho, yeah, top 10 horror all time.
Yeah, so good.
Haven't seen Rocky Horror Picture. But
next up, we got Mad Max Fury Road, which, again, I haven't seen. And then we have Frozen.
Over Toy Story and Lion King.
Yeah, that's kind of wild.
That's criminal.
I do think Frozen deserves a place here. I do. Let me talk.
I'm not reacting to that, but you're also wrong. But
I think that it definitely belongs a lot higher, so in the 90 to 99 range. But also, I've always had a soft spot for stuff like Pocahontas, Mulan, and Frozen, that kind of breaks the mold of the average. The princess finds Prince Charming and falls in love and da 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 da. And Frozen was the first one where I really noticed that, where it wasn't about love between a guy and a girl, it was about love between two sisters, and I thought that was really cool. And it's pretty funny. The songs bang. Let It Go doesn't bang anymore because it's been overplayed, but when that first came out, banger. So I definitely think it belongs on here, but that's just for me personally. And I get it if you don't think it belongs on here. But what are you guys' thoughts on those two? Because I've never seen Mad Max.
I I've only seen the first Mad Max. I've heard Fury Road is like one of the greatest action movies ever made. So
really?
I'm excited to see that. I don't want to watch it on like a small screen though, so I'm kind of off by it. Frozen, I really like probably a strong 4, but I don't think it belongs.
Yeah,
on
that's
there.
what it's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Mad Max. I do think it's one of the Fury Road. I think it's one of the best action movies ever. This is probably around the range I'd have it, maybe a little bit higher. And like Allan said, I think Frozen's great. I have it at like a high 4 stars, but it would just not personally be in my top 100.
Yeah. Yeah, so now we're moving into our 70 to 56 range. Mad Max and Eternal Sunshine to kick it off. Allan, you said you've seen Mad Max. Does this belong on here?
Fuck no. It's
really?
So good, but listen, like, I think the budget is like minuscule. Like, I have way more money than the budget. Let's just say that. It is like low, bro.
Well, what year did it come out? Came out in 79. Okay.
But like, even for that year, it was like nothing almost. But I think George Miller, for what he had, I think he created pretty good movie. I think Mel Gibson's good in it. All the other characters I want to like punch in the face are all annoying because it's in like this utopian Australia and they all like have weird mannerisms. But I think the racing scenes are cool, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It should not be above Fury Road probably. I haven't even seen it, but I know it shouldn't be.
Yeah. Will, what about you? Thoughts on either Mad Max or Eternal Sunshine?
Have not seen Mad Max. Have seen Eternal Sunshine. I think I'm not surprised it's on this list. I probably have it like just off my top 100 personally, but it's great, so it's not something I'm up in arms about.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. Even though I do have it at 5 stars, I love that film. I don't think it breaks my top 100. I think I'd rather have, as far as like heartbreaking modern romances go, I'd rather put Her or something like that up there. But yeah. Next 2 films, we got Ghost, which I have no idea how that got on there. And then Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which I'm assuming since they have Last Crusade at 68, they got to have Raiders higher up.
You'd hope.
Better.
Because even though I have Last Crusade rated higher than Raiders, just that it by 1 point because of the dynamic between Sean Connery and Harrison Ford, I think is really fun to watch. But I can recognize that Raiders is the better movie. But this movie is still immaculate. Last Crusade is so good. And then Ghost shouldn't be nowhere near this list. That movie is fine. It's fine. But I'm wondering, for you guys, where it's Last Crusade laying for you? Would this break your top 100 greatest of all time, or?
I think so. It would be probably around this range, like 75, 100.
Yeah. Will, what about you? Oh, go ahead, Allan. Sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, well, I was just gonna say I think Raiders is like fucking top 2 movies ever. So, but I haven't seen Ghost.
Yeah, it's not good. Don't watch it.
Yeah, for me, I probably have it top 150, maybe not top 100, but it's still it's a 4.5 for me, so I still really enjoy it.
Hell yeah. So
Ghost.
Yeah, the Ghost is really famous for that scene where Patrick Swayze is behind Demi Moore and they're like molding the clay together. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know. It's this really famous scene that's stupid as hell.
I'll watch it eventually someday.
Yeah. Next up, we got 2 movies. God, the next movies are just banging. Next up,
it's so random.
We got Good Will Hunting and Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. I think Good Will Hunting belongs much higher. I think that's one of the greatest scripts ever written. And I think Two Towers is like perfectly placed.
Yeah, I would say that as well.
Yeah. Allan, what about you?
I think you just said, honestly.
Good Will Hunting, fantastic. I don't know if it'd be top 100. Maybe. It's
like that's wild.
Maybe. I mean, it's a really good movie.
You haven't seen it in a minute, right?
I saw it this year.
Oh no, that's all.
Dude, it's great. It's 4.5. solid 4.5. But I don't know, it just doesn't give me that feeling of like 5. I think Lord of the Rings. I haven't seen the Two Towers. I've seen only the first one, and they really need to get on that. I know, but I'm sure it belongs on here because everyone loves it.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings definitely isn't for everybody, and it's one that I definitely recommend. Like people are like, "Oh, watch all 3 in one day." Don't do that. Watch Fellowship of the Ring, then let it breathe for a week, and then watch the Two Towers. Let that breathe for like a couple weeks, and then watch Return of the King. But for the Return of the King, you have to watch it all in one sitting. You can't like break it up. Like you got to. It's the Return of the King. I think I have it at my number 9 of all time. It's just immaculate. It's so good. Let's see. Next we got Stand By Me and Hunt for the Wilder People. Either of you have any strong thoughts on either of these?
I haven't seen
either.
What? All right, well, I'll tell you this. Stand By Me is, in my opinion, top 3 greatest coming-of-age films. It's outstanding. We get, in my opinion, the best child acting performance ever from River Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix's older brother, and also from Corey Feldman, who's great. Hunt for the Wilder People is fine, doesn't belong on here. It's a fun time, and that's it. Even though Sam Neill is in it. Next up, we got The Breakfast Club, and we have The Notebook. Thoughts? Any opening? Passionate? You're like, no, definitely not, or yes.
Both are good 4s for me, but I don't think they belong on this list at all. I can see why Breakfast Club would be on here, mate, but I really don't get The Notebook. I guess all the people who's made this list wives like beg them to put it on here or something.
Yeah. Allan?
4 in a row. Haven't seen it. Haven't seen either.
Oh my gosh. You need to get on that, man. Breakfast Club I think belongs on here. I think that's the greatest coming of age film. I have an absolute blast with it every time I watch it. You get some great acting. I'm also just a huge fan of John Hughes and 80s coming of age films. Notebook, definitely not. It's probably one of the most overrated films of all time. It's fine, even though our boy Ryan Gosling is in it. And he has a beard too, and he actually looks pretty good. No.
Like always.
Yeah. All right, we got some good ones coming up here. And after this section, we are going to take a quick break because I don't want to get us burnt out just going through these. And we'll talk about stuff we've been watching recently. Rocky and Ferris Bueller. Thoughts? What are you guys thinking?
Second greatest sports movie of all time. I think it definitely belongs on here. Ferris Bueller doesn't belong on here. It's like a low 4, maybe a 3.5.
God, dude, that's good. Wild. I'm glad Jagger isn't here today. He would be getting like triggered. Ferris Bueller is in like his top 10 of all time. Will, what about you?
I also have Rocky, second greatest sports movie of all time. I would definitely have it. Probably, I don't think it'd be on this range. It'd probably be in like the 186 range. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Yeah. I think it's great. High 4 for me, but I would not have it personally in my top 100 greatest, probably. I can see why it is. I mean, it's like John Hughes is coming of age king, so I can see it. I'm just not attached to it as a lot of other people.
Yeah. I'd have Ferris Bueller's Day Off on here. I'm probably closer to like the 80 to 70 range. And then I haven't seen Rocky. I'm wondering though, for you guys, what is the greatest sports movie?
Warrior.
For me, it's Raging Bull. But I have to see Warrior for the raffle, so maybe.
I'm seeing. I have to do a De Niro double feature tonight for our pod. I'm watching Raging Bull and King of Comedy.
First time.
First time for both. Yeah.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah,
I think King of Comedy is better than Raging Bull personally.
I'm looking forward to it.
They're very close.
Speaking of De Niro, next up we got Taxi Driver and Ben-Hur. Taxi Driver 100% belongs on here. It belongs so much higher as well.
Top 25, I think.
Oh, 100%. Will, what about you? Would you agree with that?
I haven't seen Taxi Driver in 3 years. Right now, it's at a 4.5 for me. I just didn't click with it, but that's before I actually like watch movies passionately.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, I heard this was good, and when I was like, yeah, this was really good, but it wasn't anything crazy. So definitely one I need to revisit. So as for now, I'm just gonna.
You definitely should. It's a great character study. I mean, it's another one of those where they're like, where people talk about Sigma males, and they're like, I am Travis Bickle, and I'm like, okay, so you're a psychopathic serial killer and a racist? Good to know. Just another one of those.
Saving child trafficking girls. Come on now, he's a hero.
Okay.
Just kidding, by the way.
Okay.
The music fucking bangs, by the way.
Oh yeah, 100%. Goated Scorsese cameo.
Yep.
That was really fun.
That's a good scene. That was a good scene.
And then I haven't seen Ben-Hur. Have either of you? I don't think you've have. No.
I think it's like 8 years long, so I've been.
Yeah, I've only seen. I've only seen Ben-Hur, I think.
Wow, that was bad. Whoa.
That was really terrible.
I think that's the greatest.
And then coming in at number 56, we have Avengers: Infinity War. I'd put this closer to the 100 to 97 range, somewhere in there. But I do think it belongs in here. What about you guys?
I don't know if it'd be in my top 100 anymore. Maybe. I don't know. Ask me last year and it'd probably be in my top fucking 20. But right now I think maybe like 175 if it were to be on the list, but it might not even be on it.
Yeah. I think that just because of what it did for superhero movies, like there has been nothing that has ever been like that huge and that built up. I mean, that movie was built up over 25, 26 movies, and it met everyone's expectations. Like, everybody was expecting this huge, epic battle, and it met everyone's expectations. For most, including me, it exceeded expectations. And I just think, like, the amount of time that was spent in putting into that movie and the amount of time that was spent building up to it, I just think that there is nothing in the history of cinema that has done that before, and that's why I have it on here. Not particularly saying that it's like technically one of the greatest ever, but just what it did and what it was able to accomplish is, I think it's really cool. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's 100 to number 56. I want to take a break real quick so we don't get burnt out. I think after when we get back to it, we will be getting to some real good ones. And I think we'll start disagreeing less and less. Have you guys watched anything recently that you want to shout out? Anything good? Anything really, really bad? Allan?
A bit of both. Yesterday I just watched Saving Private Ryan for the first time in theaters.
Oh yeah? What'd you think?
I thought it was really, really good. 4.5. I think Spielberg is just like the goat using a camera. Like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. His movement in it is just like so good. Yeah. We watched a bunch of good shit, like Uncut Gems, my favorite movie ever. Rewatched it. Monthly
Peak.
watch, you know?
Yeah.
The Godfather rewatch. Listen, I think it's a masterpiece, but it's not peak. Does that make sense?
I agree.
You tell me.
No, I totally agree. I can appreciate all the technical aspects about it, but I just wasn't super engaged for some of it. But I do think it's an insanely well-made film.
I think I was pretty engaged. Just like, I don't know. To me, I have my fives like for a certain type of movie. I don't know. It's not that. Like Goodfellas, I have it at a 5.
Oh, Goodfellas is peak, man.
Binge the whole Hunger Games, you know, for the new one. Thought that was really good. Probably the best Hunger Games in my opinion. The new one. Watched Scarface for the first time in theaters. Best De Palma that I've seen. Best Pacino performance that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Just a really well paced character study. Like 3 hours long. Felt like it was like 2 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the Holdovers as well. I don't know if you've seen that, Trey.
Dude, every time I see one of my friends log it, I'm like, Trey, just like ask your mom for the money and go see it.
Bro, it's fucking fantastic. Probably a Christmas staple from now till I fucking die.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
The Killer, I watched it for the third time. Love it. 5-star.
3 times in a row, by the way.
Yeah, 3 nights in a row. I watched The Killer. The third one in the theater because I wouldn't forgive myself if I didn't go.
That's valid because it's so visually pleasing.
The sound.
And it's, yeah, I love that film. I was really impressed.
I mean, I think the last one, like, to note, I guess, is The Long Goodbye, the Altman movie. My first one. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't love it. The atmosphere is really cool. The visuals are sick. I think the music was great.
Yeah.
And the main guy, also very entertaining, but I don't know, the story overall was, like, fine.
Yeah. Will, what about you? What have you been watching recently? Anything good? Anything bad? Anything worthy of a shout-out?
Yeah, I tackled the Behemoth, which is Amadeus, yesterday for my first time because it was a raffle from like a month ago.
Yeah.
I really loved it. I know it's fictitious, but still one of the best biopics I've seen. I gave it a 4.5. Thought it was really good. Mm-hmm. Also watched the whole Hunger Games series leading up to The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is by far my favorite of the 5.
Wow.
I really loved
Even
it.
over Catching Fire?
Yeah. For me, it's like...
Hell yeah. I'm going to need to check that out then.
I've done away with the number system, but I think I had Catching Fire at 8.3, and I put this at 8.7, so...
Nice.
But
Alright.
I think they're both great. I saw Thanksgiving. It was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun, really campy, which is all I kind of want in a slasher movie nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Rewatched Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. It's just a childhood classic and staple. I love it so much.
Yeah.
It's always fun to go back and revisit it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also saw The Holdovers, and definitely a Christmas staple, and can't wait to see it again. It's just, you feel cozy, and it's so, it really feels like a movie that was made in the 70s and released today. I mean, it's so cool.
Yeah. And you got Paul Giamatti.
Ask your mom for that money.
Yeah, I know. I love Paul Giamatti, too.
You should go with your family. It's like the
No, I know. I think when we get back from vacation, we're gonna go see it. And I've been watching some of Alex Payne's other stuff recently, trying to prepare for it. Have you guys watched Election with Matthew Broderick? Check that. You should definitely check that one out. That one's really fun. And then I just watched Downsizing the other day for the first time. I think that was like a week and a half ago. Which was a pleasant surprise. It's rated very lowly for all my mutuals, but I enjoyed it. But yeah, for me, I think the last time we recorded was like 2 days ago. So since we last recorded, I watched Donnie Brasco, which wasn't like the best mob movie I've ever seen, but it was still super solid. You get great performances from Pacino, Michael Madsen, and Johnny Depp. And it's a true story. It's really sad. And then I watched Taken for the first time, which I was going in preparing to give like a 1.5, just because Liam Neeson action movie doesn't scream great. I was pleasantly surprised. It's actually like a super solid action movie.
Yeah. Until you get to the rest of them.
Yeah. That's what I've heard.
I think there's 3.
Yeah. I watched Guns Akimbo, which is the one with Daniel Radcliffe and Samara Weaving, which was fine. I think I gave it a 1.5. It was just very forgettable and predictable. Even though it had a super original idea, it just was, I don't know, just didn't work for me. And then last night, my brother-in-law came over, and he had never seen Super 8. So we watched that. I don't know. Have you guys seen Super 8, J.J. Abrams? It's basically like what the Duffer Brothers saw this and were like, okay, let's make Stranger Things. Yeah. It's immaculate. I think that film's amazing. It is a blast. Really great. I don't know if he uses CGI or if he was actually blowing stuff up, but if he is using CGI, great job. Then last night, Will, you got to check this one out because I know you're a big baseball guy. I watched For the Love of the Game with Kevin Costner. First of all, Kevin Costner in baseball movies usually works out pretty well. He does star in the greatest sports movie of all time, in Field of Dreams.
That's so weird. Sam Raimi directed this?
Yeah. And
that is so weird.
I don't know what. Maybe it was like the mood I was in or the headspace I was in last night. But like in my review, I said in all caps, how can you not be fucking romantic about this game? It's just like, man, the game of baseball, it's the greatest sport in the world. And this movie, like you can tell like from how it's written and how it's directed, because I'm pretty sure Sam Raimi wrote it as well. No, Dana Stevens.
Bro, if you gave me like 100 options to guess who the director was, I would not have guessed Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
But you can just tell by the way it's made that Sam Raimi just loves baseball. And I don't know, it just really worked for me. I don't know what about it worked for me, but it just really I felt myself getting emotional at the end, and I don't know. It just really worked for me. I really loved it. I don't think I'm going to visit for a rewatch because I do think it has its flaws, and I don't want to give it a lower rating because I'm in a different headspace. But last night I was in like the perfect headspace for it, for just a nice warm baseball movie, and it just really worked for me. I really enjoyed it. So Will, definitely check that one out, since you're a baseball fan. Also, Will, add The Phenom to your watch list. It's another baseball movie, starring Paul Giamatti, Ethan Hawke, and Johnny Simmons. And it's The Phenom. It's one I watched a couple weeks ago. I gave it 4.5 stars. Immaculate, really, really good, and really sad as well. But I really, really enjoyed it. Ethan Hawke and Paul Giamatti give outstanding performances. Allan, you might like that one as well.
I mean, I'm a sucker for sports movies.
Yeah, so you should definitely.
Mr. 3000, Trey?
No, is that about Tony Gwynn?
That's with Bernie Mac. It's hilarious. Definitely that. It's a good baseball movie.
Hell yeah, I'll have to check that out. My favorite though will always be Field of Dreams, just because I haven't
seen it.
Oh, like, do you watch baseball with your dad? Did you grow up watching baseball with your dad?
My dad he watches the World Series. That's about it. He's not a baseball person. Okay.
Well, it's about how like baseball heals a relationship between a father and a son, and how that relate. And I grew up watching baseball with my dad, so I cry during it every time. And then this morning I watched A Beautiful Mind for the first time, which was amazing. Russell Crowe, outstanding performance. And Jennifer Connelly. Jennifer Connelly, if you're listening to this and you're single.
She is. She told me.
She told you.
Yeah.
Jennifer Connelly, hit me up on TikTok, Trey the Film Noob. I'd love to take you to a nice dinner. Yeah, just let me know. And I know the age difference is a lot, but I don't care. Yeah, hit me up, Jennifer. All right, back to our top 100 list. Now we are getting into the lower films.
Even the lower ones, like some in the 186 are way better. It's like kind of insane. Some of the ones they had up there.
Have you guys seen either To Kill a Mockingbird or Lawrence of Arabia? I haven't seen either of those, so I can't really comment. Allan, what about you?
I have Lawrence of Arabia on physical, but still haven't seen it. It's so long, dude.
Isn't that like...
It needs to be the perfect day for it. It's like 3 hours, I think.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, gosh.
Next up, we've got one of... God, dude. We've got one of the 5 movies I consider perfect. I have rated 100 out of 100. We have The Shining. And insanely enough, right above it, we have Braveheart, which is fine. It's nothing immaculate.
I haven't seen Braveheart, but there's no way I'm putting it over The Shining. I already know that.
The Shining is the greatest horror film ever made.
It's number 2. It's number 2 on my list. So good.
Allan, what about you?
Top 2 horror, The Shining. Should be like probably top 25. Braveheart.
Yeah.
Haven't seen it. I'm sure it's great, but...
For horror, what do you have above The Shining?
Hereditary.
Oh, that's valid. That's so valid. That was like my first true horror movie.
They're very similar, like family dynamic horrors. You know, I think very good.
I think Hereditary is an amazing film. Ari Aster just knows how to make a great film. Next up, have you either of you guys seen?
I think it's great.
Have either of you guys seen Blues Brothers?
No.
I'm not.
I think it's great. I think it's fun, but I don't think it belongs on here. It's really funny, though. You guys should definitely check it out if you're a fan of Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi. It's really funny. And then next up, we got Silence of the Lambs and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Heat.
What?
Some heat.
Yeah. I mean, these belong so much higher. These are both... I mean, historically, these are only 2 of the 3 films that have swept the Oscars, which means they won Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Director, Best Picture, and Best Screenplay all in the same year. So I think these totally belong so much higher. They're both immaculate films. What about you guys?
I think they're both great. I don't think I'd have Silence of the Lambs on my top 100. Might be crazy. I think it's closer to a 4 than it is to a 5. But One Flew Over, I think, is really high, 4.5. I think it might be in my top 100. Not sure, but it'd be like 75 area, you know.
Will, what about you? All right, do you have a correct opinion on these?
Silence of the Lambs, I'd probably have in this 55 to 41 range, honestly.
Yeah.
And One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, I probably have in the 40 to 26 range, I think.
Nice.
So not too crazy to me.
Yeah. Next up, we got 1917 and Ghostbusters.
Oh, what? Why is Ghostbusters on here?
Okay, let me say this. I have Ghostbusters at a 99 out of 100. I think that movie is immaculate.
You made this list.
I haven't seen them, but that's crazy.
Okay, the second one is fine. The first one is so funny, and it's timeless.
Good.
And I love it so much, which is why I hated the all-women remake. It, like, completely ruined everything. Not because women ruin everything, but just because it was so poorly written, and it just sucked.
I don't know. I hope Rachel Zegler comes on, listens to this.
She can do whatever she wants.
Fair.
She is like our age. Did you know that? She's like 20.
Yeah, and she's like talented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how guys our age are like, damn, they're like 20, 21. We could have a chance with them. When we're like, I don't know, we're just sitting at home watching movies. Like, I could have a chance with her.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah, but 1917, I haven't seen. From what I've heard, I think it would be a good addition to this list. Do you guys care to, say anything about it, or should I move on?
I mean, definitely top, I don't know, probably like 40, 26 maybe even higher.
Okay.
One of the best war movies ever. It might be my favorite war movie. I don't know. It's really close with like Apocalypse Now, and I don't know if we're counting Top Gun, but Top Gun Maverick. Ghostbusters, like I said, haven't seen, but 1917 does belong on it.
I'm 1917 is my 24th in the greatest, so that's a little low for me, but I'm glad it's on here at least, pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
And Ghostbusters is a solid 4 for me, but I would not personally have it in my top 100.
That's valid. I just used to watch it a bunch.
I would not have it over Whiplash.
It's like, oh, absolutely
not.
But it's the same thing with you with Revenge of the Sith. Like, I just watched that so much as a kid, and it holds so much sentimental value. That's why I've Tron Legacy at a 99 out of 100. Because I just, like, not only is it almost an immaculate film, except for that garbage, de-aging stuff they use for Jeff Bridges, but I also love it. Maybe I'll watch that tonight. I'm due for a Tron rewatch. I haven't watched it in, like, a week. Wizard of Oz.
This is crazy.
Wizard of Oz and Aliens. I 100% think Wizard of Oz belongs on here. I think there are a few films that are more iconic than The Wizard of Oz. And also, fun fact, because we just did an episode on this a couple weeks ago, Victor Fleming, the director of this, came out with Wizard of Oz and Gone with the Wind in the same year.
Yeah, bro's a demon.
That is crazy.
Yeah. And then
Alien, those hundreds back in the 40s.
Yeah.
Bringing in those hundreds.
And then Aliens, which I've only seen the first one. Do you guys want to comment on either of these?
I don't know if I'd have Wizard of Oz like in my like top 100 ever, but I think it's definitely one of the most influential movies ever.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really good. People hate on it probably for obvious reasons, but I don't think that should affect your enjoyment of a movie. Aliens, I used to think it was better than Alien because I was dumb. Now I definitely don't. But I think it's one of James Cameron's few above average movies. So let's go. Neither would be on here though.
Yeah. Wizard of Oz, I can see why it's on here. Definitely, like Allan said, one of the most influential. For me, it wouldn't probably touch the list like anywhere near. I still have it at 3.5, so I'm not a hater of it, but I think it's just like a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've yet to see Aliens.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I've seen Alien. Alien is outstanding, but I've just yet to see the second one. Also, my brother-in-law, I can say this because I know he doesn't listen to my podcast. He's been doing like a Fincher watch through, and he just watched Alien 3, and he rated it, I think, like 3 stars. And I was like, have you seen any of the other Alien movies? And he's like, no. And I was like,
that's insane.
Then what are you doing? He's like, I don't really want to watch them. Based off of this one, I don't really want to watch them. And I'm like, yeah, it's bad. Go watch Alien. And he's like, well, I'm not a huge sci-fi fan. And I'm like, well, I'm not either. And I loved it. Next up, we got Pretty Woman and Interstellar. I'll be honest, I've never seen Pretty Woman. But I've seen Interstellar, and I definitely think that belongs on here.
Yeah, same exact thing for me. I used to be a Interstellar non-believer. Because, like, the whole, like, cliche, love's the theme or whatever. But I think I grew up. It has some insane sequences. I think the sequence where they're blasting off and Michael Caine spitting in the mic is like one of the greatest things ever made.
Yeah.
I would kill to watch in the theater. I think it's probably like top 25, maybe 20, 15 for me. I don't know, around that area.
Yeah.
Fucking masterpiece.
Will?
I've seen Pretty Woman. I think it's a high 3.5. I think it's a good movie. It's pretty funny. I don't know how anyone could ever come up with a list and have it at 44 though. It's a little insane to me. And then Interstellar would probably be top 50. It's probably top 15 for me. Probably top 10, honestly.
Yeah, it's immaculate. Next up, we got debatably Tim Robbins is in Top Gun. That's not true. Next up, we have the debatably two of the greatest action movies of all time, Top Gun and Die Hard. Thoughts on either of these? Do they belong? Do they not belong? What are we thinking, fellas?
I haven't seen Die Hard, so I can't speak on that one. But bro, close your mouth. But Top Gun, I don't think it should be on here. It's like I like it. I think it's a 3.5 though. The sequel is exponentially better. I think easily. But yeah.
Yeah. For me, Top Gun 3.5. Wouldn't have it on here. Die Hard, one of the best Christmas movies of all time for sure. I probably have it in the 100 to 86 range though, or like 125 range. I'm not sure, but I don't know. I would definitely not have it this high.
Yeah, I'm with Will. I don't think Top Gun belongs in here. I do think Top Gun is great, but I do think Die Hard belongs in here, just not this high. Fun fact about Die Hard: when Andy Samberg tried out for SNL. Andy Samberg famously, his favorite movie is Die Hard. And when he tried out for SNL, you have to do an impression. But Andy Samberg doesn't know how to do impressions. And so his impression was Alan Rickman in Die Hard saying McClane. And he just came up to the microphone and went, McClane. And that was his impression. Just a little fun fact for you.
It's funny.
It's official. We're past the top 40. Almost. We are getting into some peak cinema right now.
Yeah,
I'm just scrolling down, man. Oh my gosh.
I'm like saving them. I'm only going two at a time just to try to see.
All right, so our next two, value. Gladiator, and Schindler's List. Will, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, Gladiators. We're actually watching Gladiator tonight. Allan's gonna watch it for the first time, so he'll have an opinion after today.
Hell yeah, man!
It's in my top 10 of all time. It's in my top 5 favorites of all time. 100% deserves to be on here.
Mm-hmm.
Russell Crowe's great. Joaquin Phoenix is like one of the most hateable villains on the face of the earth. It's insane, and I've yet to see Schindler's List.
Yeah, Allan, what about you? You're seeing Gladiator tonight. Have you seen Schindler's List?
I haven't.
I have only seen Gladiator. I thought it was amazing when I first watched it like 4 years ago, and I rewatched it and it didn't hold up for me as well. I think if you took out all the slow-mo action of that movie, it'd be about 20 minutes shorter. But I do think there are great parts. I think Russell Crowe and Joaquin Phoenix are unbelievably good. I think the score is amazing.
Yeah, score's peak.
And some of the action sequences are sick, but it's just like, it didn't, for me personally, it didn't totally hold my attention. But Allan, I'm excited to hear what you think. Because I still, like, even though, like I just said, like, bad things about it, I still have it at a 4.5. It's an amazing piece of film. Next up, we have Godfather Part 2 and Citizen Kane.
I haven't seen either.
Yeah. Allan, what about you?
I haven't seen either.
No, I'm with you, fellas. I've seen the first Godfather. I haven't seen Godfather 2 yet. I have heard, though, by a lot of people that it's the better one, so I'm looking forward to getting around to it. I don't know how it could be the better one since James Caan was killed in the first one, and he was like the best. What?
I'm just kidding. It's been so long.
Sorry for spoiling a movie that's like over 50 years old.
Yeah, I'm actually sad he died. Like, I really liked James Caan.
Dude, he was the best character. Sonny, I loved James Caan in The Godfather.
How old was he in that?
Huh?
How old was he in that?
I don't know. He was young, though. He was like in his 30s. He was scary. He was like fit, too. Like, he was like a scary looking dude. Pretty badass. I need to see Thief. Have you guys seen Thief?
We're watching it this week. We're watching this week as well.
I've seen it. It's a masterpiece.
Okay. I might join up with you guys when you watch Thief, because I love James Caan. I haven't seen Citizen Kane either. Now, Apocalypse Now, which Allan, you said might be your favorite war movie, and then The Princess Bride. What are you guys thinking?
Whenever you were like talking about Gladiator and shit earlier, and I was making faces, it's because I was scrolling down and I saw The Princess Bride on here. I haven't seen it in fucking forever, but top 100 is crazy. Apocalypse Now. It's not my favorite horror movie. It pretty much is a horror movie, war movie, but it's definitely like top 3 probably.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking insane, like the scale of it. I think there's a documentary just going over like all of the production that they went through, and it's fucking insane, and it looks insane.
Yeah.
It definitely probably belongs on here for sure. Probably top 50 for me.
Mm-hmm.
Around that area.
Yeah.
For me, I probably think it's the greatest war film ever made. Not my favorite, though. I think I still have it probably top 50, like Allan said. And The Princess Bride, it's very good, but I think it's way too high as well.
Yeah. Apocalypse Now, I've yet to get around to. I am looking forward to it. It's just war movies aren't my favorite. It's that and like mob movies have never been my favorite. But there are ones that I like. Like I have Goodfellas at 5 stars. I have Full Metal Jacket at 5 stars. Which, by the way, that's my favorite war movie. Full Metal Jacket. But also there's a lot of war movies, like the great ones, like All Quiet, 1917, Paths of Glory. There's a lot I haven't seen. So that could change. But The Princess Bride. This movie holds a very special place in my heart. So for me, in my favorites, this is in my top 20 favorites of all time. I have always found this film so full of heart, but also absolutely hilarious. And it has some dope sword fighting scenes. Mandy Patinkin is outstanding. Shout out Mandy Patinkin and his wife. They have a TikTok account that's run by their son, and it's the most wholesome TikTok account. I love it because they're both like 60 or 70, and it's really nice. And Mandy Patinkin is like one of the most wholesome people alive. So I love it. I think it definitely belongs lower, but I would have it on my greatest films of all time because I do think it's a masterpiece of fantasy storytelling. And you're able to build all these characters in such a short time that you care so much about. So I do think it definitely belongs in here. Next to Alien and Fight Club. Thoughts? What are we thinking?
Get Fight Club out of here. Not top 100. Alien, definitely top 100. I don't know where exactly. Maybe around the 75 range is probably too high, but I think it's honestly really close to a 5.
Yeah. Will, what about you?
Yeah, I'd have Alien in the 186 range probably, and I'd probably have Fight Club in like top 150, but not 100 for me.
Yeah. I'm the same way. Alien. Fight Club, I would be a little bit lower, probably in the top, closer to 50 range. But not for me personally as my favorite, just because of how iconic it is and how much of effect this has had on mainstream culture. Like, I remember my dad, he told me the story, him and his buddies went and saw this in the theater when it came out. My dad would have been like sophomore, junior in high school when this came out. And he said they like walked out of the theater and they were all like standing in the parking lot. And his buddy said, "So are we supposed to like fight each other now?" Just like the amount of effect it had on society as a whole, I think is really impressive. Which is why I think it belongs on here. But it's not one of my personal favorites. Definitely not my favorite Fincher. That will always belong to the greatest script ever written, The Social Network.
W.
You're a Social Network fan, Will?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, Aaron Sorkin. Aaron Sorkin is just like an amazing writer.
So good.
All right, next few: Saving Private Ryan and T2 Judgment Day. Who said when we were talking about what we've been watching, they just watched Saving Private Ryan? Alan, was that you? Yeah. I'll send it to you then first. What do you think? Does this belong in here? Does it not? What do you think?
Dude, I honestly don't know. If it did, it'd probably be in like the 175-ish kind of area. I think it's really, really great. I think Spielberg just knows how to make really good movies.
Yeah.
I haven't seen T2, like
for sure.
You were saying earlier as well. But probably belongs to be on here, both of them, I'd say.
Yeah. Will, what about you?
0 for 2. Haven't seen either.
Yeah, I've seen Saving Private Ryan. It's pretty great. I think it belongs in here, just not this high. And then I haven't seen T2. Next up, we got Grease and 2001: A Space Odyssey. 2 very different films. Let's start Grease. Thoughts? Does this belong in here? I don't think it does.
Haven't seen
it, but probably not.
It's a fun time, but I just don't think it belongs on here. Next, 2001. What I believe belongs at the number 1 spot as the greatest movie ever made. What are your guys' thoughts? Where would you put this?
Yeah, in my top, like, I don't have a top 100, but if I made one, I think favoritism would be like maybe like 85-15.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the 15 being like technical stuff. If I did full on like what I think is the greatest achievement ever made, it's gonna be 2001. I think it's probably the greatest movie ever made, but it's not my favorite. It's really hard to like connect with on a personal level, but I mean it entrances you. It's just a spectacle to look at, but definitely belongs on here. Maybe a little too low, though.
Yeah. Will, what about you?
In terms of greatest, I feel like it should be 1. In terms of favorites, it would probably be more in the 186 range for me. I just don't connect with it.
Yeah.
But I think it's remarkable, and seeing it in 7mm film was like an insane experience.
Yeah, I think I'm the same way as you. I don't connect with it a lot. I still have it at 5 stars. but I do think it's the greatest film ever made. It's crazy. Next up, we have The Matrix and The Green Mile. I think The Matrix is way too high. I can understand that, but I do think it belongs. Like, I can understand it being on here, but I think it belongs a lot lower. And The Green Mile, I have not gotten around to yet. What about you guys? What are your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, I haven't seen The Green Mile, which is kind of crazy to some people, I think. Matrix, probably if you asked me like 5 months ago, I'd say it belonged in the top 100. Because I watched it for the first time this year, and then I rewatched it in theaters, and I actually lowered my score, so I don't think it'd be in the top 100 now.
Yeah. Will, what about you?
Matrix, I lowered it from a 4.5 to a 4 as well. I think it's a great movie, but I think it wouldn't be in my top 100 personally. Mm-hmm. Green Mile would probably be in my top 125, 150, not top 100, but it's a great movie. Y'all should definitely check it out at some point.
Yeah. Next up, we're moving in our top 25. We got Jurassic Park at 26 and Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring at number 25. Thoughts on this, Allan?
I mean, yeah, Jurassic Park, probably the third or second best Spielberg for me. Probably should be top 30 around there.
Yeah.
Personally. And then Fellowship, that's the only Lord of the Rings I've seen. I'd probably be lower end, I think, like 75, or like 85, 71. I think it's like fantastic, but it's not. I'm not the biggest fan of fantasy stuff, so
yeah,
not the target audience.
Yeah. Will, what about you?
Jurassic Park would be in like the 85 to 71 range, probably for me personally, and then Fellowship would probably be in my top 50, 40, probably. I love Fellowship, but honestly, that'd be my favorite ever. Return of the King.
That's valid. Jurassic Park, I think, is perfectly placed. And then Fellowship, I think, is also perfectly placed. That's my second favorite over Return. Really, just because, I don't know. I mean, Return of the King is immaculate. But I think Fellowship has some of the best character development I've seen in film. Just because Peter Jackson, and some of the best world building. I mean, Peter Jackson is just that guy when it comes to world building. There are a few people who do it better. And yeah, I think it's an amazing film. I think it's an amazing accomplishment as well. Next up, we got Parasite, the 2019 Best Picture winner. Our first foreign film, I believe, on here. And E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Thoughts? Do they belong? Do they not belong?
Yeah, I think Parasite is, easily a masterpiece. Probably top 15 for me. I think it's a landmark in just what it did for film culture. I think a lot of people that mainly watch just American cinema, specifically here in the U.S. or maybe even in Canada, it's probably a lot of people's first ever foreign film just because of how much talk it was getting in 2019. First movie to win Best Picture, right? I don't know how much that means anymore. First foreign movie to win Best Picture. I don't know how much that means anymore because the Oscars kind of suck now. But, yeah. I think it's incredible what it talks about, the acting, everything about it. It's just great. E.T. I haven't seen since I, spawned in. I've heard that a lot of people have, rewatched it and grown a new, found love for it. So I'm excited to rewatch it. I remember the score being great. And before I let Will talk, I just want to say these next two, Trey, I think, are going to make me and you hit our heads on the wall.
Oh, yeah, we're about to go off.
I haven't even looked at them yet.
Will?
For me, Parasite's probably properly placed. Probably top 15, like Allan said. And E.T.'s a strong 4, but I don't think it's top 100. But I get why it is. It's influential. So,
yeah.
Let's see what the next two are. Oh.
I think if there were, because I looked ahead and the Parasite is the only foreign film on here, and I think if we're going to put any foreign film on here, that's probably it. The only one that I would consider putting there instead of Parasite is Oldboy. Exactly. I think that's, God, Well, Old Boy is a whole nother story. But I do think Parasite is outstanding. That's one of the easiest 5 stars I've ever given. Parasite was actually the first Criterion I ever bought.
It was one of the two.
Yeah. And E.T., Alan, this actually directly relates to what you were saying, is I just rewatched it for the first time since I was like 8. I think it was like last week. And I don't know. It still holds up. It's extremely heartwarming, and also heartbreaking. It's sad. It's beautiful. Great child acting. Henry Thomas, who actually plays Elliot, the young kid, lives like 10 minutes away from me. I figured out after watching this. So that's kind of crazy. I only know that because he got like arrested for like drunk driving. Like a few years back, and they were like, Wilsonville resident Henry Thomas. And he tried to tell the cops, like, I'm a movie star, like trying to get out of getting a ticket. So not great dude now, but really good in this movie. Next up, we have Midception and Avatar.
That's being nice. Midception is more like it.
Shitception? Are you on the Shitception 2 train as well, Will?
Nah, it's a 3. It's mid. I was just making a joke, but
yeah,
it's a 3 for me.
What do you have it at, Allan?
3.
Okay, I have it at a 2. I think there's parts I do really enjoy about this movie, but those parts are few and far between. I think the only characters I enjoy are Tom Hardy and Cillian Murphy. I think that Elliot Page, like, he did a great job in this film. I thought he was great. But the way his character was written is some of the biggest load of bullshit I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was bad.
And the visuals. Some of the visuals, like the scene, the hallway fight scene with Joseph Gordon-Levitt is awesome, but everything about this movie is pretty meh. Leo gives in probably his, I don't know if it's his worst performance, but I think it's pretty darn close. Is there anything you guys want to add on to the shit storm that is Inception?
I mean, yeah, everything you said, like, they use I don't even know the character's name, but the one that, like, Leo teaches.
Yeah, Elliot Page's character.
Yeah. Like, they use her just as exposition the whole time. That's all she is.
Yep.
That's all she's worth.
Yep.
She's just there to make the audience feel stupid, and that's the main issue I have with this, is that it is just not that hard to grasp this movie. Like,
it's not.
That's why Tenet is so fucking good, because everything that's wrong with this movie, he fixed in Tenet. Because in this movie, he tries to make us care about these characters that are pretty much rocks and plants. Like, they're very badly written. Most of them suck, acting-wise, apart from Cillian and Tom Hardy. I actually enjoyed their characters. The score, I think, is great. That's the only exceptional point of the movie. The visuals look like a Russo brothers movie. Sometimes they look okay. I don't think I could maybe lower it to a 2.5. I don't think I could ever go down to a 2, because there are scenes that I really do like. Like, when I watch them, I get, like, that hype feeling or whatever. But it's bottom tier Nolan, bottom 2. Leo's worst performance, like you said, just unfortunate for, like, the premise that it is.
Yeah. Will, anything you want to add on there?
No, I just kind of got everything y'all said.
Yeah. Yeah, just not a great film. And the exposition is weird, too, because as far as, like, Nolan's science fiction stuff goes, like Memento, Inception, Interstellar, Tenet, all that kind of stuff, Inception is probably the easiest one to understand what's going on. And it's the one with the most exposition. We get a lot less exposition in Interstellar and Memento, and those are a lot harder to understand than this is, which is just odd to me. Yeah, I don't know. Avatar, thoughts? I haven't seen it since it first came out, so I would have been 6. So I can't really give my thoughts on it, but what about you guys?
It's a little bit better than Inception. I mean, it's very niche, very cliche. The visuals are fantastic for the year it came out. I watched it for the first time last year in IMAX. Then the next day I watched The Way of Water, which I definitely think is better. But, I mean, it's insane how it made it over, was it $2 billion?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if James Cameron is doing that thing from the SpongeBob movie, you know, where Plankton uses the buckets to, like, mind control people, but I don't know where these people are coming from to watch these movies. I don't know how they're making this much money. They're Marvel movies, MCU movies, with better visuals and, like, midly written characters. Like, they're fine.
Mm-hmm. Well, what about you?
Yeah, I like the first Avatar. Like, it's never going above a 3.5 for me. And visuals are great.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like Allan said. It's kind of like a Marvel movie plot. So nothing really to touch on here, but it shouldn't even be anywhere near this list.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna start tacking these on in threes. Return of the King, Blade Runner, and Goodfellas. Return of the King, I think belongs at number 3, and I think Goodfellas belongs at number 2. Blade Runner I haven't seen. What about you guys?
Yeah, Goodfellas probably top 20, right around this area, maybe even higher. Haven't seen Return of the King. Like I said, only seen Fellowship, and then Blade Runner I don't think belongs on the list.
Will, what about you?
Return of the King, top 30 probably for me.
Mm-hmm.
Blade Runner, top 150 probably for me.
Yeah.
I think Goodfellas top 10, I would say, for sure.
Valid.
A little low, but...
Yeah. All right, next 3 we got up here are 3 films that I don't believe belong. I mean, I've never seen Casablanca, which was our first one. Dirty Dancing doesn't belong on here. And Sound of Music, maybe if it's like number 100 or 99. What about you guys? Thoughts?
Triple haven't seen.
Will, what about you?
I think Casablanca is great. I don't think I have it top 100, but its influence alone, I can see why it was placed on here.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen Dirty Dancing or Sound of Music, but I mean, I know Sound of Music's also super influential. So
Sound of Music is super good too. You guys should definitely check that one out. I love that film. Next up, the next 3 we got here. Actually, we're just gonna do these all as 4. Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Number 13.
Love Actually.
Yeah. What?
Avengers Endgame and The Dark Knight. So Raiders, yes, 1000%. Can we all agree on that?
Top 2 movie ever. So.
Yeah. Love Actually. I have actually never seen this. I can guarantee you it doesn't belong on here.
To be this high.
Yeah.
Like, this had to be the list guy's wife. It has to be like her favorite movie of all time, and she was like, "Please put it on here.
Yeah.
I'll give you an extra something tonight."
Avengers Endgame. No, I don't think. No. I would rather, if we're going to put an Avengers movie at the number 12 spot, Infinity War.
I think it's insane that Infinity War was at, 54, and this is at 12.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't think either of them should be on here, but that's insane.
Yeah. And then number 11, The Dark Knight. Does this belong in the top? I know we're all going to say this belongs in the top 100 because it does. Does this belong in the top 50?
It's on the top 50.
I don't even know if it belongs in the top 100, but there better be another movie above this in the top 10. That's all I'm saying.
It's not going to. Just give up. Go and give up.
What, the Batman?
Not be on here.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, well, how old is this list?
I don't know. I thought this came out today.
No, this has been out for a long time.
Wow.
Probably 2019, 2020, I'm thinking.
Yeah. Okay. Number 10, Forrest Gump, the most overrated movie of all time.
I've never seen, but I know it shouldn't be here.
Yeah. This would never even come close to my top 100. What about you, Allan?
I haven't seen it. As I'm scrolling through this is one of the worst lists I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's really bad. That's why I wanted to talk about it. Number 9, Back to the Future. That's actually kind of valid. Back to the Future is peak.
Yeah, I wouldn't have it anywhere near this high. I probably have it top 50, but I'm not mad that it's here.
Yeah. Number 8, Gone with the Wind. I haven't seen it. I don't know about you guys.
Me neither.
Star Wars Empire Strikes Back.
Not even the best of the 3. Not even the best of the trilogy.
Yeah. I don't think it's the best Star Wars movie, but I think it's the best of the OGs. And even though A New Hope is above it, we also get Jaws at number 6. That's valid. Jaws is one of the greatest films ever made. We get Pulp Fiction at number 5. I think that's a W. I don't know about. I think Will would agree with me. I don't know about Allan.
I still think both are too high, but like.
Yeah.
I think both Jaws and Pulp Fiction are too high, but I mean, I'm glad they're on here. They deserve to be on this list.
Jaws belongs on here. Pulp does as well, but there's 4 Tarantinos that are better than Pulp Fiction. So like, what are we doing?
No, there's not.
Yeah. The Godfather, I think, is well placed. I'd have this in the top 10 greatest of all time.
Probably greatest, but not favorite.
No, definitely not. Same thing with 2001. Next up, number 3, we get Star Wars: A New Hope. No.
Too high, but better than Empire at least. At least they got that right.
Yeah. And a wild number 2, we have Titanic.
Fuck no.
Absolutely not.
McGuigan made this list. Is that like 5 fans?
Ryan made this list.
Ryan and Isaac, right? Are they the 2?
Yeah, they must have made this list because
they made this list.
They're asking like sewer people these questions. Like, there's no way this is like actual.
And then the most basic number 1, I will say it belongs in the top 25, but I don't think it's in the top 10. The Shawshank Redemption.
If it were in the top 100 for me, it'd probably be in the lower end. But
probably top 10 for me. I'm happy with it.
When I first started watching movies, everyone told me this is the greatest movie ever made. So, not surprised it's there.
And we know Allan just bases his opinion off of what everybody else says.
No, fuck no. This is like not even top 100.
Yeah, so that's the Rolling Stones top 100 of bullshit. Thank you guys for coming on and doing that today. Go check out the Fistful of Films podcast. I'll put a link to their YouTube channel in the description of this video. Go check them out. They make great stuff. Specifically the Pulp Fiction episode. Someone may or may not have been on there to talk Pulp Fiction. It was a good time. If you want to follow me at my socials, I'm Trey the Film Noob everywhere. And TikTok, Twitter, Letterboxd. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe. Comment down below what you think the hottest take on this list was. And then on YouTube, leave us a review, rate us. We'd love that. Go check out our merch. Our link is in the description of our channel. You can find Allan on Letterboxd at Cinelapse. And then Will, what's your Letterboxd handle again? I can never remember. Isn't it just DubMG?
WMCG11.
Yeah. So go follow both of them to see some of their rancid takes. And thank you guys for coming on The Average Film Enjoyer. We hope...
Listen to gospel, you mean?
Oh, God. We hope you guys will come back at some point. And thank you for listening, everybody. And we hope you have a great rest of your day.